So I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do with myself, and that's what kind of got me into yoga, and then the teacher training, and then I'm just kind of in this space where I'm still in my full-time 9 to 5 accounting job, and I'm still kind of going into that direction, studying for the CPA. Not sure where that's going to take me, but it's not fulfilling, and I need more, and I'm leaning into the yoga space a little bit, but I'm taking it into a new or a different, I guess, route, and kind of incorporating the more of the philosophy behind it. It's not even just about yoga. It's about finding meaning in life in general, and you don't need yoga for that. And well, yoga is more than just a movement. If you're familiar with the philosophy, there is a lot there that can help you live a better life outside just the movement of it. But I think about how far I've come with my mental health and spiritual journey over the years, and I try not to compare myself to others, because that's where I kind of get, the imposter syndrome comes up, where like, there are plenty of people who have gone through much worse things than I have. And that's kind of like the trap we fall into, where we don't think we're worthy of recognizing how far we've come, because the things we've overcome aren't enough. But when you stop comparing yourself to other people, and you just kind of just look at yourself and just the journey you're on, you can kind of see more clearly what you have accomplished, even on the smallest of scales, which can make all the difference. Because for example, I just something like flossing to help your teeth feel better long term, like using an analog clock instead of the alarm on your phone to wake up, so then when you wake up you're not automatically right on your phone. There are certain habits that we know we should do because they will make our lives better, but we push them off because they don't seem like enough. They don't seem worthy of doing, because they're so easy to do, so we just automatically think we can just do them whenever. And I gave a couple random examples, because those are just things that I've started doing in the past year. And you can take this on a very small scale, and you can take this on a very more existential scale, like, what is the purpose of my life? Like, what is the reason for living for me? And this can be very abstract. It doesn't really have that question doesn't really need like a specific answer. It can just be, it comes down to being content. And ideally, you'd want to be happy doing the things you're doing, but happiness is not like something you you can't just grab at it and you have it. It's like a byproduct of what you're already doing. Once you're already fulfilling your needs and your spiritual needs, your physical needs, your mental needs, you're taking care of yourself, you're doing things that give you purpose and enjoyment, and then happiness and satisfaction, that all comes after, or really alongside. And so what I'm getting at is, I'm thinking about where I've come from mentally and how far I've come, and kind of just imagining what would have helped me years ago when I was at rock bottom mentally. What would have helped speed up the process. And at the end of the day, we have to be there for ourselves. We have to be the ones to want to change. But at the same time, not knowing what that change looks like can cause you to freeze, and at a certain point you kind of have to just practice being present with yourself, and then the answers will come if you practice at noticing the thoughts that come into your mind. And anyway, what I'm getting at is, in helping others, I'll be helping myself realize more of what is possible when we connect our visions and purpose. When we create lives that we imagine is possible, creating a world where, fill in the blank, suffering is inevitable, but there are ways to go about it where we can reduce needless suffering, and we can create a better world through creating better versions of ourselves. And yeah, we go from there. And I like the thought, because my day job as an accountant, I just like that word, to account for things. Like, finances is one thing. Don't get me started on taxes. But if we were to account for our habits, for our meanings, and our thoughts, our self-talk, just everything that comes up in the present moment, and account, everything's a stretch, but I started writing down just things that I do throughout the day, just to kind of remind myself that I am doing, even cooking dinner. I'll write that down, like, okay, I cooked today, like I did something today, like I cleaned the dishes today. There's meaning in any little thing like that. And once we have meaning in something, we can find enjoyment in it. And obviously there's levels to this. I'm not going to enjoy cleaning dishes as much as there's plenty of other things. But the point is, I've gone from being miserable to not knowing what I wanted with myself, to do with myself, to a point where I feel a lot more secure and content with where I'm at, and I'm more optimistic, and I'm moving in a direction I never thought was possible, and all I can really think about is, can I help people do this too? And plenty of people are already on a positive path. Plenty of people are already on a path way better than what I'm at. But again, we can't really compare ourselves to others, because what about all the people that are stuck? Because there's so many people, so not everyone has their shit together. And there really isn't there's no point where you finally get your shit together. It's just a matter of realizing what the shit is and noticing it and organizing it in a way to reduce your suffering and be content and find enjoyment in whatever it is you're doing. It's a very case-by-case basis. There's no meaning to life. There's no grand scheme, or maybe that's not the right way to put it, but there's no one size fits all. There's no you could listen to all the motivational speeches you want. You could track every hour of your day, or plan every hour of your day. Planning, to an extent, planning is a good thing, but it can be more of a distraction at a certain point. And these are things that I think I could help with people, because I've done it with myself, and I'm actively doing things that are making me enjoy my life more. And that's all there is. That's all there is to it. Because if you're not enjoying yourself, if you don't enjoy living, then you might as well be waiting to die. And that sucks to say, because I feel like that could be a lot of people. And then you got to take into account, finances. Are people able to afford their basic needs? Are they alone? Have loved ones passed away? And suffering is ingrained in our being, and there's no escaping that. And trying to escape that leads to more suffering and more unhappiness, more dissatisfaction, and it's a process. It's not like I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. I'm not going to gaslight people and just say get over it, or everything's gonna be okay. It's not easy being present in the face of suffering. And if you've read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, I just finished that this month, and I really struggle. It's hard to wrap my head around the amount of suffering in the moment that someone can go through and still be able to overcome that and find satisfaction with themselves, with their life circumstances. And maybe satisfaction is a stretch, but just finding meaning, I guess, for a lack of a better word. But so when I think of being like a life accountant, that's what my idea of that is just helping people find meaning in their lives. And I don't need a degree or a certificate to be able to do that. I have my own experience, and that's why I'm thinking like, oh, I'll just offer things for free, and if I'm actually helping people, then maybe it can go take it to the next level or whatever that means. But yeah, I'm open to talking about goals, recovery. That's the other thing. Recovery doesn't have to be just, being sober, you're getting over alcohol and drugs. Recovery can look like a lot of different things. Recovery could look like coming out of bad mindset, negativity, like this, we do this for years and it takes its toll. Eating habits, any type of habit that's detrimental to our satisfaction or content with ourselves. And really just comes down to noticing how we feel about the things we're doing. If we do something that makes us feel bad about ourselves, then that's the hardest thing, to notice that. So a lot of times we don't even know. I ate a bunch of ice cream this weekend, which is fine, but then I overdo it, and then during the week I'm feeling miserable, and it took me a little bit to realize I was coming off of a sugar high. I was going through sugar withdrawal, basically, and I forgot how when I overdo my ice cream intake, I become miserable. And that's a funny example, but there are plenty of situations like that where I feel like, me included, where we don't realize what we're doing is making our lives worse in the moment. Maybe not, for some things more longer term than others, but this is what I want to kind of help figure out with people. And I've been talking for 18 minutes. We'll end it there. I just wanted to throw this out there. It doesn't have to be weird. Maybe we know each other. Maybe I don't know. You probably have some preconceived ideas of who I am based off of high school days or whatever. And I wasn't always a great person. I don't like how I've acted in the past. And there's nothing I can really do about that except kind of acknowledge that and hope for forgiveness, really. And yeah, I'm open to talking with anyone. It doesn't even have to be about, it can be about whatever you want. I could talk all day about anything, if it's interesting enough, or just figuring out what we're doing with ourselves while we're here. Yeah, because I think about it a lot, like what's worth doing. And connecting people is up there on that list. Connecting with people, talking with people, helping people, being of service. I could go deeper into why that's meaningful, but maybe in another video. Yeah, don't be shy. I'm around.